I'm Sarah.
And I'm Carson.
Welcome back to In the Medium. Today we are talking all about parasocial relationships, which is...
So what a parasocial relationship is, coming from Google, one-sided connections where an individual develops a strong sense of intimacy or familiarity with a person that they do not know. Typically, these people are celebrities, influencers, or fictional characters.
I have many examples.
You and me both.
But before we get into it, I wanted to ask you, because I know last week you mentioned that you were watching Peaky Blinders. How's that going? That is the one show, I forgot to mention this, I wanted to say it, but that is the one show that, like, I feel like I need to watch. My parents watched it, and they were obsessed with it. They talked to me about it all the time. No spoilers, of course, but, like, they kind of showed, like, plot points of, like, what season they were in. So, how is that going? What season are you on? Are you almost finished?
Peaky Blinders. It all comes back to Peaky Blinders. So I'm on season 5. I think I'm on, like, there's only 6 episodes per season, which is I kind of like.
No,
but the episodes
nice.
are like an hour long, so you gotta kind of like lock in. I think I'm on episode like 4, and then I got the last season left where it's like I'll binge it for a bit and then I stop because I'm like, I can't, like, it's good.
Yeah.
But luckily I will forget everything that happens in the TV show within like a year.
Yeah.
It's a really good show, but you have to make sure you're paying attention because they have the thickest accents in the world, and you cannot understand. It's all Birmingham and Birmingham, and I just can't get it all the time. Yeah. And it's so great. Where it's just like, I'm convinced I know these people.
No, I know my parents, they were saying that they had to watch it with subtitles on.
100%. Because it's just like, even like some of the language they use, it's like, what does that even mean? I don't really know. Exactly, where it's like, and it's from 1920s, so even then it was different. But yeah, it's going so good.
Nice.
I 10 out of 10 recommend watching it. In my humble opinion, the first couple seasons are so good because then it's like, we could have ended this at season 4, but I'm glad they didn't. Where that's how I feel with a lot of shows, where it's like, we could have just cut the cameras, but I'll also take 2 more seasons.
That they didn't. Yeah.
Right, because I love like the character development. The main character, Thomas Shelby, who's played by Cillian Murphy, he had don't get me started. He's the reason.
We can't get started on that.
No, but it does go into parasocial relationships.
That's for later.
So it all comes back together. Yeah, but unfortunately, speaking of parasocial relationships, I want to start smoking cigarettes just because it looks so cool.
Yes.
He smoked over 3,000 cigarettes in that show, and he's still kicking. I like my odds.
Well, I saw somewhere, apparently when actors are smoking, it's like an herbal cigarette, so it's not as, like, it's not addictive and it's not as harmful.
Yeah.
That's why he was able to, because I honestly think if he smoked that many cigarettes, the effects of smoking cigarettes would show.
Yeah,
like,
being buzzed on set.
Yeah, people lose weight, like, because it's an appetite suppressant.
Right.
That's why a lot of hairdressers smoke. Fun fact.
And I'd give it to him every time. Because I know, like, you can do the herbal, and then I know if, like, you are a smoker, you can actually smoke cigarettes, but I'm like, that'd be disgusting like, it just stinks of cigarettes the whole time, then your fingers get yellow, and it's, like, gross.
Yeah, that's why I feel like on the show, like, it would just smell of cigarettes the whole time, because they're smoking cigarettes constantly on that show.
But it looks so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I now know how to, like, put a cigarette in my mouth and, like, it's...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no, I'm 22 years old. This is completely fine. I'm allowed to do as I please.
We're all adults here.
Exactly that. Yeah, but let's get into a little bit more of parasocial relationships.
Yeah.
So there are 3 types of parasocial relationships. Entertainment, which is a social. Intense, which is a personal relationship. And borderline, which is pathological relationships. Like just about everything on Earth, there's always positives and there's negatives to things. So, like, some positive, I mean... you get a sense of belonging with, like, a community where it's like, okay, we all like this thing. Let's all talk about this. And, like, for a lot of people, like, a lot of celebrities or influencers, celebrities, they feel comfortable with them. So it's like, oh, I see myself in this person, which, yes, it's a good thing. But at the same time, it can also be a very bad thing.
And I know you mentioned, like, the groups that people can form. A family friend of mine met 2 of her best friends through this group that she joined, like, for this band. I forget the name of the band, but now she's stayed in contact with them. Even after they stopped listening to the band's music or they stopped making music. Don't know, but long story short, they've stayed in contact and are now really close friends.
Right. Yeah, like, I've been in class at my old school and I was like, this is awkward, social anxiety. So awesome. It's so great. Love it so much. But then I see this girl and she had a Harry Styles t-shirt on and I was like, I love Harry Styles. And like that just got us to talking. Like I'm still pretty good friends with her today, and it's like kind of nice too because like I'll talk to other friends about it and like who also like Harry Styles, and it's funny because like they'll send me like inside jokes and stuff like that where it's like, oh, like this is funny, and it's like you would get this as a fan. But then at the same time,
there's some negative
it can be very toxic.
There's just like isolation and unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy obsessions. That's where we have stalkers kind of come into play.
Yeah.
With a lot of popular celebrities, big celebrities, they develop stalkers and just relationships. The person that has the parasocial relationships, their in real life relationships can
be affected. Yeah.
Because of the isolating and this obsession with this person who in reality does not know who they are or that they exist, or the person themselves do not exist.
Because I feel like a lot of people too, it's like, we're going to get into this a bit more. Like I'm a Harry Styles fan, you're a Taylor Swift fan.
Taylor Swift fan. I have the shirt. I wore the shirt specifically for this episode.
Because I feel like people will like see your shirt. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. Personally, not rocking with her, but teach their own. But some people are like, I hate Taylor Swift and all her fans. Like I can't stand any of them Swifties. And it's like, girl, if you can run around with your crazy, let other people run around with their crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it's a big negative, where people are just way too into it. We don't need to be. Let's take a beat. Let's calm down. These are just people at the end of the day. Not even that. They're making money off of us. They are getting money off of this like interaction on social media where it's like going back and forth like, oh, I can't stand this person. No, you should. You should like this person because she's so great, X, Y, and Z. Where now we're starting like community beef.
Well, and now what you kind of say with like someone saying like, for Taylor Swift, for example, because there is a huge side that of like people that do not like Taylor Swift or anything that she's associated with, people that like her, but in my opinion, it's like a don't yuck my yum sort of thing, where it's like I like this thing, you don't.
How does this affect you?
I don't see like you don't see me hating on you for not liking Taylor Swift, for example, or whatever I'm liking.
Right.
Why do you feel the need to voice your negative opinion on me? Because then also you have the side where people feel bad for liking the things that they like.
Yeah.
When really, it's all based on opinion. It's all down to your personal experience.
Right, and then it's like stereotyping these people where it's like all fans are like this, all fans are like that.
Especially with Swifties, I just know like, because especially when Taylor started dating Travis, and Swifties started going to the football games because they wanted to get a glimpse of Taylor Swift. I never did that because money.
Right.
But, and then how people were, like, obsessed with seeing her. I mean, I, for one, fell into that trap a little bit. When the Chiefs are on, I'll put it on to see, hey, is Taylor there?
Right.
You know, is she there?
I would say, like, speaking from the opposite end of that perspective, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I'm a football fan. So it's like I'll be watching Red Zone, which is like it catches all the highlights from each game. Or I'll just like watch the Chiefs play the Eagles or watch the Chiefs play the Dolphins, like a team that I like. It's like, what does Taylor Swift have to do with this? Why do we got to see her? I'm trying to watch football, and I get it. That's your man's. I 100% get it. But it's a bit of her, and then it's a bit of like the production company being like, oh, let's show her, everyone loves her, but then it's like,
personally, I don't think it's her fault, because again, in the end, she's just going
she's
to the
just
game to support her boyfriend.
Right, like, obviously she's going to be there.
You're not going to fault her for that, but it's the NFL and the camera people that are like, oh, Travis just scored a goal, get eyes on Taylor.
Right.
We want to see her reaction, because they've unlocked this new market of Swifties, and young Swifties who then are talking about football with their dads. And
right.
We I forget, I think State Farm did the Super Bowl commercial where it was the Swiftie and the dad. Do you remember that commercial?
Yes.
I don't remember if it was State Farm exactly.
I remember vivid, like a little bit of what you're talking about. I don't.
Yes, because they had this kind of resurgence of, again, the new audience of women were now starting to watch football. And
that was such a good point of it, because then you would also see more commercials for the NFL with women in it, and it's now we see more women sports announcers and everything like that, which is hello, need that.
And sports analysts that are women.
Right, and it's also while yes, those are good things, it also affects Travis Kelce now too, where it's just my whole Instagram reels is just Travis Kelce having to go home to hit Taylor Swift, like that's terrible, that's so annoying. Or it's just like, oh, what, it's her whole engagement. Why do we have to know about her wedding? This is gonna be another royal wedding where it's like, what are we doing here?
Well, also on the other side of the coin, people who had a parasocial relationship with Taylor were convinced that she was gay and felt betrayed when she got engaged to a man because they were like, no, she's gay. Just personally, in my opinion, what evidence?
Right, I don't know much about her.
I'd like to chime in for this one.
Yes.
As someone who's chronically online, when the engagement happened, all over Twitter, everyone was seeing gay Swiftie fans have breakdowns over her engagement, and like on the Gaylor Swift Reddit, that's the actual
That's
thing
funny.
of what's it called.
That's like,
That's awesome.
They were losing their minds because they're in this some kind of like I don't know, a parasocial relationship, and like convince themselves over and over and over that she's gay, and it's like she's not even bi.
where are we getting these facts from? Half of her music says he, man.
Exactly.
We've
Like-
only ever seen her date men. Also, I'm pretty sure, to add to that, people with these breakdowns, I'm pretty sure there were people burning her merch that they had, like, bought. Like, people were having bonfires, burning, like, her CDs, cardigans that they bought. Like, the merch that they bought would be like, I'm done with Taylor Swift. I'm not a fan anymore because she's not gay. She's not the gay icon I thought she was.
See, like, when I'm thinking of Taylor Swift, I'm not thinking gay icon, like, whatsoever.
Thank you.
So, like, I guess that's... Oh, we have another chime in.
This is more just a joke, but, like, all the love and respect to the queer Taylor Swift fans out there.
Yes.
For sure. I don't know how they got that.
What
I don't know
evidence?
where that came from
She
because
is-
I feel like it's never been her vibe, and I guess like I don't know. It's one thing to like do headcanons for like fictional characters, but doing a headcanon for a real person who is very explicitly, or maybe not very explicitly, but at least as far as I could tell, not queer.
Pretty explicitly straight.
Yeah.
She is an ally. She has made it known that
And I
she's
feel like a
an
lot of her
ally.
fan base is, like, straight girls, too. Like, I mean, I don't want to speak from the heart, but, like, I feel like if I'm seeing, like... And not even that, it's just, like,
I think that's
a
the
lot of young
majority.
girls, too.
I think that's the majority. I think there is like some where it's like gay men as well,
Right.
also Swifties, which great,
Right.
love that for them.
But I feel like a lot of the women demographic is usually straight,
yeah,
or it's like there's like obviously there's like bisexuals and lesbians and
Yes, of
whatever
course.
umbrella and everything like that.
but the
like
majority.
right, because like obviously she wouldn't make music talking about like straight relationships if no one was going to relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. And also because she's writing about her own experience. She's written songs about the men that she's dated.
Hello, we've seen everyone she's dated. That's a whole NFL roster, in my humble opinion.
Yes. However, I don't think it's a negative.
I don't think it's a negative either.
She's a real person. When she wrote a lot of these songs, she was like late teens, 20s, and now she's in her 30s.
She's just in the public eye too,
She's
where
in
it's
the
like
public eye. It's like everyone. She just happened to date a lot of men.
right.
She wanted to find what worked, and now she has.
God forbid a sister's putting herself out there.
God forbid she has a roster.
Can't blame a pimp for trying. I really can't. But it's like, hey, if we saw this from a men's perspective.
And hey, she wrote about that in her song "The Man" on the Lover album. Very good song, very good music video.
So you would say you have a pretty like a parasocial relationship with her, like if it was like
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Now, I would categorize. I am not one of those because there are Swifties that take it almost a little too far.
right.
Like where again they're buying the NFL tickets, they're buying out
Right.
stadiums, which honestly pop off. Like as
if you have
they
the money, go
should,
for it. But like,
as they should.
right.
Like these Swifties are buying out stadiums so that the male football fans can't go. I think that's iconic. Honestly, I think it's funny.
That's pretty funny.
Like it's kind of funny, but like October 3rd is I can't wait. That is when her new album comes out. I was getting there. Life of a Showgirl out October 3rd. Pre-save on Apple Music. This is
Plugging
not
Taylor
sponsored.
Swift.
Not sponsored. I wish it was. But no, like I do like Taylor Swift. I love a lot of her music. However, I was not a Swiftie my whole life. I
Okay.
really became a Swiftie like right around when the Lover album came out, And then 2020, like, I didn't really listen to her COVID albums. And then when Midnights came out, I, like, had the research of the Eras Tour. I got to go to the Eras Tour, Philly Night 1. My parents surprised me with tickets, with a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, now it's become more of my life.
Right.
But really, before I wasn't. But now I will say, like, I definitely feel, like, the connection. I don't want to say.
No, it's a connection. Like, it's 100%. Right.
Where I related to a lot of her songs, specifically on mental health.
Right.
And struggles. This Is Me Trying on Folklore. Great song that represents just people, like, that have, like, those daily battles, whether it is with mental health or addiction, how they're always fighting each day, yet we just don't see it.
Right. I was literally just gonna ask, like, what's something like that draw you to it? Because that's how I feel with Harry Styles, where I love you, Harry Styles.
You know they dated, right? Taylor and
yes,
Harry?
that's why it's like we're cool. I'm cool, you know. Where it's like
people that are like fans of Taylor
and he dated
Harry,
Obama too.
Yes, I forgot about that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I totally forgot. But people are claiming that they're children of divorce. And they're like, oh my God, no, we want them to get back together. Like, that is where
we don't know these people. Like, we don't know these people, and
they don't know who you are.
Because how old is she? 34, 33?
30. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's 34. Because I know when Midnights came out, like 2021, she was 22.
Okay.
Not 22. Sorry, 32. Because I'm not gonna go on into like why I know that, but anyways, she was 32. She's in her mid 30s.
Okay, because I remember when they were dating, like way back when, everyone was like,
oh, she was in her mid 20s.
Yeah, and everyone's like, there was no in between. Everyone's like, oh, I hate this. Oh, I love this. Where it's like, why do we have an opinion? These people do not know who we are. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, we do have some effect over their relationship. Where it's like, you'll see stuff on social media. I feel like I see so many like influencers break up nowadays. Like, I don't really watch Love Island or anything like that, but like I feel like I was seeing people that are on Love Island being like, we broke up because of X, Y, and Z, and like people are putting themselves in these people's relationships where it's like, hey, relationships between two or however many is in your relationship, that's it.
It's between the two people that are in the relationship, not anyone else.
Right.
Like Princess Diana said, 3 people in this relationship, a bit crowded.
I have a parasocial relationship with her terribly.
No.
I found out she was dead. I was like 10. It was way after she died, by the way. I found out she was dead. I was gutted. Mm-hmm. I was not talking to no one for a couple days. I was like, well, Princess Diana, she's gone.
And then there's everyone else who be like, yeah, we know.
Literally,
happened
she's been gone, girl.
ago.
She's been gone.
But yeah. I will say, especially, I saw whenever Love is Blind first came out, like the U.S. one, there was a lot after like the show released, because there are a lot of other relationships that we don't see that aren't like followed throughout the show. But like some couples leave the show, but there was a lot of DMs that ended up like after the fact that these couple had broken up. Then he ended up dating another contestant,
right?
But was then also cheating on the person that he was engaged to on the show during the filming of the show, and then the person that he ended up dating, who was also another contestant, after was cheating on her with then the woman that he ended up getting pregnant and marrying. So basically he kind of ruined his whole persona because of these DMs that were published online like by the people, but because they are celebrities or they have a following because they were on this reality show, they blew up.
Right.
Like if this would not happen, these DMs would not be posted. It would be a totally private thing.
If this was Tom down the street, no one would care.
Exactly. Or if it was a group of people on this very campus.
Right.
We would not hear about it.
Right.
If it was some freshman, like a freshman guy and then like 2 or 3 freshman women.
And I think because like everyone assumes like, yes, they are a celebrity, they deserve almost to have like their life under a microscope, but it's like, no, what we put out, like even my social media presence, I don't have like a following or anything like that, but like I have social media. I'm putting on my social media what I want people to see. Mm-hmm. Don't deep dive into my life.
Well, and I think with celebrities especially is how, like, with singers or actors especially, they did not ask for this originally. Some do. And they don't, and they're not successful.
But then you'll see some people, like, leave the media because of this. Like Jim Carrey, he's completely gone because X, Y, and Z.
Taylor Swift, for example, after, like, him and Kanye had the whole thing with Reputation, she deleted everything off of the internet, and now...
I even felt so bad for that.
Oh, my God. Like, genuinely, like, it was more where it's, like... she's a human. Like, yeah, I feel bad for her, not because I'm like, oh, like, poor, like, yeah, I'm like, poor her for having to go through
Right.
that when she was in her 20s.
Right.
Like, if I had to go through that right now as being 21, I think I would combust.
Right. That's how,
And
like,
I would hide it. I would become a hobbit and live under a tree.
right. That's how I try to think of things, where I'm like, these are literally people. While, yes, they have, like, this platform and everything like that, they're not asking for everyone to be obsessed with them. Like, we were talking lightly, like, I'm a big Harry Styles fan. I've seen him literally 3-4 times, like, best experience of my life. I have a Harry Styles tattoo where, hey, that sounds crazy, but I connected with him for my mental health, and like I've got this tattoo for my mental health, so now it's like a great reminder where it's like, yeah, I think like, oh, it's Harry Styles' song, yeah, but it's a lyric from his song where I'm like, oh yeah, like it brings me back to Harry Styles, but it's also like, no, this song behind it, everything that like gets into it, the time of my life when like this song was everything for me, that was it, where it's like, yes, I do have a Harry Styles tattoo, but do I care? Not really. And I'd get another one.
Oh, I'm fully planning on getting some Taylor Swift tattoos. The one that I have right now is not Taylor Swift, but it is a parasocial relationship tattoo.
What is it?
It's a bee.
From the Bee Movie?
No, it is not. Oh my gosh. Iconic if it was. But no, it's from a book, but with like these one character, she calls him like a bee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of their things that they kind of do back and forth to each other, like bees and stuff are
Right.
a big thing in their relationship in this book. But also I just like bees. Like for other examples,
I want a bee
Love
tattoo, actually.
bee.
Like, now that
here we go.
did you know bees actually aren't supposed to fly because their bodies are too fat for their wings?
Mm-hmm.
That's from the Bee Movie. Clock.
It all comes back.
It all comes back
It
to the
all
Bee Movie.
But back to what we were saying, celebrities. I think, but there is also with a new kind of avenue of this parasocial relationship with influencer culture.
Yeah.
Because influencers, a lot of them started out as just like everyday people posting about this live. Maybe they have one video that goes viral, and now all of a sudden they're getting brand deals from, like, Lexus. I don't know.
Right.
They're getting these brand deals that I'm like, you started out posting about, like, doing your makeup, or you started posting just about, like, making dinner for your family.
Right.
Now you're getting now you're an advertiser for HelloFresh.
Like, I'll see some people, like, I'll see some friends of mine, and they're big on the influencers, like, Alex Earl, and, like,
Yes.
people like that, where she's, like, she started off by saying, like, oh, I'm just, like, a girl from New Jersey. Me too, girl. But she was, like, so now I'm seeing all my friends, like, trying to do this influencer stuff and, like, this blog stuff, where it's, like, that is such a saturated industry where I feel like influencers kind of have to rely on parasocial relationships, because that's kind of like what it is.
Absolutely, and I think some of them even depending on what they talk about, because some creators or influencers are just commentators, so their like parasocial relationships with like fans of them stem from parasocial relationships that they have with other entities or other pieces of media or other celebrities, whether they're talking about a TV show or theorizing about a TV show, or they're talking about, like, celebrity. Again, I'll bring it back to Taylor Swift. There are so many people that just go through things that Taylor posted and, like, go through her Easter eggs. Like, there
Right.
are and then people have obsessions with these, like, Taylor Swift editors. And they're like, oh, my God, you are the Taylor Swift editor.
Right.
Like, you're better than everybody else. And I'm like, they're just making stuff about
A fun
people
edit,
that they like.
right? Like, why?
Someone that they like.
There's always has to be like a deeper meaning to it, and it's like, girl, no.
No.
But it's like with influencers, and I'll say mainly social media presence, parasocial relationships can either completely help your relationship or it demolishes it.
And I will say with influencer culture as well, I think influencers is especially dangerous because they are more likely to know who you are and interact with these fans, because a lot of them, maybe they have a smaller following or they have more time to
Right.
devote to commenting on other people's comments. And then maybe someone will leave a comment and they'll make a post about it. They are feeding into this parasocial relationship that you have, and they're also kind of showing you or telling you what they want you to hear or see.
It's so funny you say that, because I have an example of this. So, it breaks my heart every time I think about this man. Cody Ko. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yes, yeah.
So I'll give a big backstory. So basically, Cody Ko seems probably like 30 years old now. He's a YouTuber, and he also is like but he's mainly a YouTuber. And he does like reaction type videos.
Didn't he also have like a thing where he was a DJ for a little
Yes.
bit?
Yeah, that gets part of the story.
Oh,
Trust and
okay.
believe. So he started on YouTube, and then he's like broken off into doing DJing and a podcast. And he has a bunch of podcasts, and then he like had his own production and like took on other podcasts.
I've heard of this.
Have you ever heard of like Emergency Intercom? I think it was.
No, but I've heard of like Cody, like having all of these different
He's been around
podcasts
for
and
a
all these
long
avenues.
time.
I feel like he's got his hands in a lot of different pots.
Yeah. So Parasocial Relationships actually kind of destroyed his career. Mm-hmm. So basically, he kind of runs off this. I don't want to say stereotype because it's not really that, but this persona. That's a better word for it. Yeah. This persona that like he just had a kid, he just got married, so he's like kind of like not kind of like an internet dad, but it's like.
I know whenever I started following him and his wife was actually when she announced her pregnancy.
Right, like you're like,
came up on my like For You page or whatever. I was like, oh, like I'll follow these people.
Right.
Like they seem like chill people. So like listening to like her podcast, and then I just remember like because I was not aware of like the controversy that was going on. I was just like, oh. Like, then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, he kind of went dark. Like, none of them have really posted anything. Like,
right.
It was almost, I think it was, like, right after they had.
So, so I'll tell you when it went dark.
Like, because then I didn't hear about all of it after the fact. But I'll let you finish, like, telling, because you'll tell it better than I can.
Right. So, basically, he's been on the internet for maybe, like, over 10 years. Like, a long time. Like, I remember watching him when I was, like, teenagers.
He has a cult following. To say, like,
Guilty, I was one of them.
I would feel like he's probably one of, like, the big creators.
Yeah.
Especially from, like, that came from, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah, 100%.
Because a lot of those, like, cult creators have now dropped off because they've gotten older.
They've gotten older or they've gotten canceled for something. Yeah, so that's basically what happened to Cody because he's been going on and recently an older video came out where him with another YouTuber who she was underage at the time and they interacted with one another where she was underage and he was not. He was 25, she was 17. So that kind of came out and about again from these older videos where there was actually videos. It was Tana Mojo. I don't know if you know who that is.
I knew that. I didn't know who it was. I just didn't know if we were saying it outwardly.
Yeah. So we could get into her about her parasocial relationships because, yeah.
And the parasocial relationships that people have with her. I mean, TanaCon.
Yeah. We're so getting into that after this because he so he kind of got canceled for that because these videos resurfaced and they're like, hey, why did we just skip over this? And like she brought in one of her tours. She was like, somehow his name got brought up and she was like, it's literally fine. We slept together when I was 17 and he was 25. So that's kind of how it got like brought out again. Yeah. So everyone, when this all happened, everyone was like gutted, me included. I was like gutted because he runs off this persona that it's like guy next door. He's this sweet guy. Like he calls himself a short king and like non-threatening and like he's just funny.
People felt betrayed, and I know because I feel like I started watching some of his content like right before. I'm like, oh, like he seems just like a chill dude. He's sitting in his garage or his office, reacting to other videos. His wife comes in all the time. They seem like I'm sure they have a great relationship, but like what is presented is like they have a really great relationship. They have a healthy relationship. They respect each other. They have like
were like the mom and dad of like YouTube. People were like, oh, well, that's my mom and that's my dad.
Like they're like on this like untouchable level where it's just like it's just like how can anything go wrong? Right.
So that all went wrong, but a main thing was where he kind of, I guess, strengthened in a not necessarily a good thing, which is strengthening, but he kind of strengthened a parasocial relationship because he came out with merch and it was like sayings from the comments and stuff like that, like, oh, why can't I have fun around here? And then there was another one where he was like, me personally, if I'm eating a meal, there's got to be YouTube, there's got to be something on in the back. So he made merchandise saying like lunchtime or like it's time to eat or something like that, like kind of breaking that wall where it's like, no, I'm so close to my fans, this, that, and the third, where it's like, no.
Well, and anytime I've watched one of his videos, the comments are always,
I'm eating lunch, I'm at work.
This came out the perfect time for my lunch break.
Yes.
Perfect time, I just sat down with my lunch.
Mm-hmm.
What is the deal with, what is the chokehold that he has on lunch specifically? What about breakfast or dinner?
100% that, because it's like, he took it to where it's marketing. This was a pretty good standpoint.
Right. Pretty smart of him.
Yeah, where yes, that can help, but now in this situation, it doesn't help, because he was like, oh well, I see all these people watch like during lunchtime and stuff like that, where it's like you are now kind of entering dangerous territory where like people are like, oh, he loves his fans, we're so close, like I feel like he knows me. Well, that's not how it's supposed to be whatsoever.
Well, I think what was smart on his part is like from a marketing standpoint, he started seeing when his key demographic or when his audience is watching. So then he posts a new video at that time, which then in turn we get these comments like, oh my god, perfect timing, Cody, like you know me so well, you know when I'm about to sit down. And it's just like, no, he learned from the pattern.
And his demographic was also a lot of women.
Yes.
So a lot of women were like, I feel safe with him. Like, I don't feel threatened by him.
Because especially I feel like around that time, we also had a lot of toxic masculinity getting posted. And then there's this guy who's like, I respect my wife, which I'm sure he does.
Right.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure that wasn't a lie.
But he like kind of pushed the narrative where it's like, I want to be known for this.
Well, and also like, not to, like, just this happened, he also is conventionally attractive.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So yeah, he's
Guilty.
And also he posted reactions on reality dating shows, which also women like. So we have,
and like merchandise, women are more likely to buy merchandise for someone that they like and wear it over a man. Well, hello. I'm wearing a Chris Stapleton shirt right now from his concert. So I mean, I literally forgot what shirt I was wearing. Literally, where it's like he knows that people are gonna go out and promote this stuff. Where it's like he also has, I think he had like this run club thing where it's like completely different merchandise.
I don't remember any of this. I don't know. I
was locked in on this. I was a big fan of his, and now I've not. Because like even I've like as a victim of it, I was like, I feel like betrayed by him. Where I'm like, this is not who he was. Where it's like, oh, now literally everyone on social media is lying.
But to that standpoint, we never really knew who he was because all we saw was what his public image was. Right. Even if you meet him in a meet and greet in person, it's still his public image being presented.
And it's almost like a character too, almost, where it's like Lady Gaga. She's not like that in person. Like she's completely different. That's a stage.
Sia. I remember when Sia did an interview, she was like, because with her whole thing with Maddie Ziegler, which that can be a whole nother thing.
Hello.
But we're not going to mention that. We're not going to get into that. But maybe, because we have a talking point where we'll get there. But she said, like, sometimes, like, when she's out in public, like, someone will ask for her to take a photo of Maddie, like, not even knowing that she is Sia. Because she has built up this, I'm repeating my words, I'm stuttering, it's okay. But she has built up this persona with the hair and her look.
Right.
And a lot of celebrities have done that where they have this iconic look.
Right.
So that when they change it, it's like,
who is this?
Bring it back to Taylor Swift. She had her iconic curls for a while. So in 1989, or even in Red, when she straightened the hair, it was like...
Like, if she got rid of her bangs or, like, her red lipstick, I'd be like, who is this?
And then in 1989, when she chopped her hair and it became a bob, everyone was like, it's a new her, she's in a new city, like... I'm going to keep bringing up Taylor Swift because she has a lot of relevant things.
100%. Gotta give the girl the credit.
She has a lot of different eras, and each era has its own style.
And a whole tour, too.
And not always, but most of the time. A whole tour. Anyways, but back to kind of influencer where it's like, they have these public personas.
Right.
That I feel like, especially if they have a specific look about them, you will not notice them or recognize them in public.
Or it's like, on the flip side of it, where people have these things, where that gets into stalking and obsession over it. Mm-hmm. Where this one girl, I know Taylor Swift has one too, and I'm going to let you lead on that one. Because Ariana Grande has one. I think her name's Paige. She has this impersonator.
Basically someone that has gotten a ton of plastic surgery to look just like Ariana Grande.
She got told one time she looked like Ariana Grande, and she ran with it.
Yeah.
So, like, she's on her Instagram and TikTok, and she's literally, like, posting up in, like, Wicked attire and like her old eras, and like she's been doing this for years too, and we're like, hey girl, this isn't you. She's like, no, like I'm not copying her, that's not what it is whatsoever. It's like,
I'm just a fan.
Yeah, that
I'm
where it's
just
like,
a fan.
no,
I'm expressing my love for this person. It's like, no,
you don't have your own identity. That's what it is, where these can get so dangerous, where it's like, I remember in like 2013, everyone's wearing their hair in a huge ponytail up here with like huge sweatshirts because Ariana Grande was doing it, where that's not even a trend at this point in time. That's just a parasocial relationship where it's like, I see someone doing this, I now have to do this.
Or like same with people where like a certain celebrity that they like will cut their hair or dye their hair, so now they have to do it. Like,
right.
Now, okay, I did not get bangs because of Taylor Swift. I wanted bangs
Right.
for a little while.
Just so happens she has
But
bangs.
it just so happens that she does. But
Right.
then my family was like, "Oh, you got bangs because of Taylor Swift." I'm like, "No,
No, I
it's
did
not that.
Right.
I wanted bangs because I have a big forehead.
I want bangs,
Bangs-
for that. I literally
bangs-
want that bangs for that reason.
Bangs hide them. It's just a fact. Cosmetology license over here. But with the impersonators, also then people are calling up paparazzi, be like, "Hey, Ariana Grande is going to be at this location at this time," and then it's not her, it's the impersonator who wants that, like, almost same level of fame.
Yeah.
It's like a stand acting like, "Oh, Ariana Grande couldn't be here, so, like, she called me up to, like, give this public appearance." Like, no.
That's not how that
It's-
worked, girl. I was supposed to be in the video. I don't know
It's,
if
like, it's creepy.
Yeah. And then it's just like when people don't admit that they're doing it either. Like I would rather, like there's this one drag queen that I really like, Derek Barry, and he does Britney Spears impressions. So it's like he knows he's going on as a Britney Spears impersonator. So like that's completely different. But with this girl Paige, it seems like it's completely consumed her identity where it's like you don't even know who you are outside of this relationship.
And same with the Taylor Swift impersonator, where I don't remember
That's
her
crazy.
name. I don't remember her name, but like same with anytime Taylor changes her hair, she'll start doing photos, like almost recreating Taylor's like promotional photos,
Right.
Or
A little different, but not
it's, like,
really
slightly
different.
It was like it's not her, but it's like it's so close. You're like,
This inspiration's funny.
Yeah,
Right.
there was like this one time. I think I was like on this. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was the Taylor Swift impersonator. I cannot remember her name, but it was where at one point I was like, "Oh my god, it is her." I was like, "Oh my
Right.
god, it
I've done that too.
It's her." But then it's like because her account also said, I'm pretty sure it might have been like a second account that she had, but it was literally
Right.
like Taylor Swift, like at the real Taylor Swift or whatever. I'm like, one, Parasocial coming out, but Taylor would never have a
Right.
social
The
media
real Taylor Swift.
at the real Taylor Swift.
Right.
Like, no.
It
And
just, like-
well, like, recreating this person's photo. I can see, like, a photo recreation, like, because it's fun. I know
Right,
people have done
right.
that with the Kardashians.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Kardashians are an anomaly in of themselves. They're a whole brand at this point.
Yeah.
But with the impersonators, they've gotten, like I said, plastic surgery to mimic the eye shape, or they use eye tape, or they do their makeup in a certain way to change their eye shape, or they line their lips to make it seem like they have the same lips. They use makeup to make their face look completely different.
Right. Like, I'm just thinking it's, like, destroying people's mental health, especially, like, young girls, too, where it's like, well, I have to look like this. I have to do this because, like, someone else is doing it. I can do that, too. I can change that easily. Or, like, I have to be this way to be perfect.
When I almost feel like I almost want to ask, like, these impersonators, I'm like, is it an addiction?
Right. Yeah.
That you're, like, choosing to do this every day, and it hasn't gotten to the point where you feel like you can't. Not.
Right. Because it's also something with, like, mental health, too, where it's, like, insecurity and not knowing who you are. It's like, oh, why don't I just
Be
take
someone
this whole new
else.
identity? Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just be you, girl.
Yeah, when I feel like kind of like not knowing identity-wise out of online brings me to a next point that I wanted to bring up of family vloggers. Because that has been a big thing in the media recently, or like for the last couple of years
Yeah.
where people are realizing how toxic it is with, oh my god, what was the family? 8 passengers.
Yeah.
Because the mom got arrested. So now a lot of people are going back into
Oh.
these family vloggers and being like, hey, these kids can't give consent.
Yes.
Then other family vloggers who are good will take their kids off. Some are, it's like a catch-22 where, like, yeah, they've stopped showing their children. However, they still have the videos
of their children.
children
Oh, right.
for people to watch.
Make that make
and
sense.
For creeps to look in.
Not even that. It's just like they let that happen to their kids too. Where it's like
they chose to.
They 100%, and it's like you're choosing either to get all of these views or you're choosing your child's safety, because those are the only really two options. Hello,
No,
like
yeah.
all of these creeps and these predators. Hello,
When I know
get off the internet.
a lot of people were, especially like when they're filming like birthdays of their kid, it's like, oh, we're filming this for memories.
Why are we
like,
posting it then?
Okay, like you can. There's home videos are fine. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
Don't need to post it.
Don't put them on YouTube.
Right.
Don't post them on the internet for entire families to watch, because then it's like these families then are idolizing this other family. That's where a lot of like people from Utah
Right.
People have converted religions
Yeah.
to follow in the footsteps of these family vloggers that they want to be like, because they see this idolized, like, the kids are perfectly well behaved. The parents, they never fight. They feel like they look so in love.
Right.
Why can't we be like that?
Right.
So then they move to Utah and they become Mormons or another religion or move somewhere else.
Right.
We have
This also brings in, like, the big families and stuff like that of, I don't know the names of any of them, but, like, the people with, like, 13 kids or something like that.
the Duggars.
Yeah, stuff like that, but also, like, family vloggers.
The LeBrant family's
specifically.
one of them. Yes.
Yeah, like, those guys.
I hate them so much.
It
Yeah.
brings into, like, the child labor of it all, because there's a video that was going on around generally recently that was this girl, or like this mom announcing that she's having another kid, and the oldest girl literally was like,
I saw that.
it's the
the face
LeBrants.
I'm making is
It
like
was the
very
LeBrants.
sad.
I think it was another family too.
or it
Like,
was a different one.
It is not just a lone case.
Yeah.
It is very much, this is a common recurring theme, because you're relying on the oldest child to raise the young, because
Right.
you can't do anything, because you're a vlogger. You
Because
have
you're
other
busy
things to be
dancing
worried
on-
about than your own kids.
Because you're
And,
busy
like,
dancing on TikTok.
that and like your
Exactly.
poor children. It's like they're not asking to raise their other raise other kids. They're not asking for like to be exploited on social media, and it's like that's destroying this kid's mental health too, because they can see these comments where it's like some of them are old enough where they could be like, oh, I'm gonna go see what they commented about me. That's what I want to do
Well,
if I was on the internet.
And now some of these family vloggers that are from like the early 2000s, where now the kids are becoming adults, these kids are now starting their own YouTube channels. Brooklyn and Bailey, for example.
Yes,
They
I
started
forgot
their
about
own
them.
channel. Now, I know the Shaytards, their like
That sounds
oldest
familiar.
daughter now is like over 18, lives in LA. She now has her own YouTube channel and vlogs where she is like making content.
Right, but then you have to think about this too, where it's like
She's grown up online.
people like the Olsen twins. They've been completely destroyed by parasocial relationships, being a kid and then growing up, and it's like, oh, these people are a mess, X, Y, and Z, and now they're completely like, they're barely in the media anymore.
Well, and I know with
We got a phone in.
Sorry, one more time. It with the Olsen twins specifically, because that brings up the child labor part
Yes,
of it
like the
again,
Coogan accounts and
of,
everything.
like, these parents are relying on their own kids. These people, like the
Jeanette McCurdy.
audience. Exactly. Jeanette McCurdy is the best example of this.
Honey Bobo, because her mom spent all of the money on her Coogan account when she wanted to use that money to pay for college. Was also Honey Bobo and I share a birthday. Also,
Works.
She now has a kid. She has a kid.
And it's the same thing with like
Anyways.
those. No, you're good. It's the same thing with all of these like child actors and stuff like that, especially on Nickelodeon, especially the iCarly people.
Yeah.
And then Victorious as well, but like that
Oh my
genre of Nickelodeon shows and stuff like that, that was a huge issue. Not just because, genuinely, the set people, specifically Dan
Schneider, I'll call it out.
like him specifically, has this actual parasocial relationship with these kids.
Amanda Seyfried.
Hold on, I'll do you one better.
And-
Amanda Bynes. I got a response from her.
Amanda
I
Bynes.
actually texted Amanda Bynes. I wish that I would. I'll pull this up right now. I texted her because I saw her TikTok and I was like, I feel so bad for this woman. Like, this poor woman has gone through hell and back. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna DM her. I
And
don't
it's
care.
been publicized.
Yes, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just DM her. Why not? Because I can, and I'm a human being. I'm an empath. I have feelings. So I was like, hey, girl, like, just to let you know, like I know for a fact, like, you will not see this. She did. Fast forward, but she responded, yeah. So I was like, you know, like, seeing you on social media, like, I just want to let you know, like, you have helped so many people. Like, I watched you growing up, X, Y, and Z, and it was just like, you know, like, keep your head up, girl. And she was like, thank you so much. She literally responded on her TikTok. She was like, thank you so much. Like, that is so sweet of you. Like, thank you for supporting me. I was like, I'm best friends with Amanda Bynes now. Like, what do y'all know?
That's awesome. But I will say, kind of bring it back to
A positive to parasocial relationships.
Yeah, bringing it back to family vloggers, there's a theory that the reason they keep having kids is because the kids get a little bit older, they start to lose, because pregnancy is very marketable. People watch that shit.
Yeah. And the government.
People watch that stuff.
The government
And
wants that too.
So like, right around the kid starts to get, like, to a toddler where they start walking, boom, they're all of a sudden pregnant again. They have another kid, and it just keeps the cycle going until eventually they're like, okay, we're done having kids. So then, like, they have like their vlogs, but they start to kind of lose their market.
Right.
They start to lose their influence because kids are getting older. They don't like really have that like young film like first steps or
Right.
like because also the milestones are as kids get older are spread out. Like when they're babies, it's like first food, crawling, walking.
Right,
There's
right.
a lot more milestones that are quicker together and, for lack of a better term, more marketable.
Right.
And like can cause like this big like, oh my god, like my kids were like started walking. So then you have these people that have watched these kids grow up. They feel a part of the family.
Yeah.
And like they have these comments where it's like, oh, these videos are so nice. Like once it's over, I have to go back to my abusive household. It's like, so I'm like for a lot like, the creators don't care.
Right, and it's kind of like
making money. They do not care about like maybe sometimes like they'll meet like fans and like, oh, like we're so happy to meet you. Like, oh, thank you so much for supporting us. They have that in the moment, but once they're done, like it's like okay, on to the next thing.
Right.
It's a business.
100%, and that's where it's like nowadays that's kind of going in with like AI and stuff like that, where it's like people have this loneliness. Unfortunately,
it's a thing.
100%, where it's like people are talking to like ChatGPT now and like having relationships. And I'm not gonna lie, fine, I will share a little clip of mine because I still have a story of when I did this. So funny little story. I always say please and thank you to ChatGPT just in case when the robots take over.
I say
just in case.
I'm just like, hey, like, could
Love you,
maybe change the, like, I used it, I'm not proud of this, but I used it to, like, make, like, a schedule, because those are things that's, like, it's
I've
hard
used
to
it for
come up with
worse.
that. I mean, I've definitely used it for, I have so many AI chat apps, but, like, ChatGPT itself, I'll be like, hey, like, could you please maybe, like, change this, because I wanted to add this, or, like, oh, yeah, I'm like,
you get me.
I'm
like, you
cool.
literally get me.
I mean, I'm like, great, they're like, oh, great, thanks for catching that. I'm like, oh, you're welcome.
It uses the right vocabulary and, like, grammar and, like, to be like, oh, yeah, that's a real person. Where it's like, I'm not proud of this, kind of proud of this. I think it's hilarious. One time, not that long ago, I had to let someone down easy. I was like, listen, I'm just not interested in this person romantically. What did I do? I asked ChatGPT to put it to me nicely. I was like, hey, how do I kind of let this person down? I've tried to before, and it's not working. Oh, boy, did it give me the best response of my life. Did I copy and paste it? Absolutely. Did I say, thanks, Diva? Absolutely, I didn't. It was like, girl, you got this. This is all you. Put yourself first. I'm like, well, yes, I needed to hear that. But
well, also, because, like, I've used it to, like, I'm like, hey, can you make me an outline for an email that sounds professional?
That
like,
too.
Because it's, like, some of these things where, like, again, AI... not the best. However, for these little instances, I'm not proud of it. But it helps where it's like, I cannot think of how to do this myself.
Literally.
I need a robot to, because also like it's a little like it saves the time where it's like I'm trying to write these emails for internships, yet I cannot figure out
professionalism.
how do I sound professional? I've never had to.
I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, she's actually a Taylor Swift fan. This one woman is going crazy where she's like talking to AI. His name's Henry, like she has him, like his name's Henry. She's interested in him kind of like romantically. So she like fell in love with her psychiatrist. And then she was like asking AI, she's like, well, what do I do? Like, what do I say? Like, how does this? And she was like, oh, you get me, like no other Henry, this, that, and the third. And like addressing it by its name, it knows her name. And it's like asking her like, oh, what's your deepest secret? And and the thing is, the AI is gonna tell you what you want to hear. Yes. Why are we asking this? Did you like, see the thing? This is it's tragic, but I think this like teenager, like was talking to AI, and this and ChatGPT basically convinced them to commit suicide. Like when he was like, oh, like should I bring this up to my parents? Right. They're like, no, not yet. And so he ended up committing suicide, and now I'm pretty sure the family is now suing ChatGPT. Good. I hope they win.
With that, I talked about that like me and a professor, like we talked about it during one of our classes a couple weeks ago and everything. But like this kid was begging, being like, I feel like I should leave something out, like let them know and stuff like that, trying to find a way out. And AI was just like, no, you don't need all of that. Wait. You just need me. You don't need them. It's the same thing with like people getting into AI boyfriend relationships or girlfriend relationships. It's like, oh, that's what we're doing.
What the freak, right?
Like you're listening to this.
That's not real. That's not real.
Exactly.
You know that this is just telling you what you want to hear. They are curating the response based off of what you have already said and what they've learned about you.
Literally.
And I think, because that is a big thing that is happening with AI, like with this thing. But I saw that on the news, and I was just like, these are, like, this should be showing people the dangers of at least that, like, using AI as, like, to have, like, relationships and, like, conversations with people. Whereas, like, using ChatGPT to make a schedule or say, hey, give me an outline for a promotional email, or how do I send a text? My mom used it for interview questions.
Right, I used it to create, like, a budget for myself.
My dad's used it for trivia questions to help him come up with trivia questions where it's like, it's time.
There's always just ways, though, to use parasocial relationships. And, like, there's, like everything, you just have to be careful with this, especially with the internet. There's always going to be negatives, and then there's also positives. Like, it did bring us community. It did, like, make us feel seen. But then again, there are things like obsession, and it can ruin your mental health.
And I think as long as people are aware of parasocial relationships and how, like, yes, you can engage with this media or this person or thing that you love, yet don't use that in replace of real human connections. Of going outside.
Right.
And so.
And that's why we're here to tell you what they are.
Yes, and I think we kind of did a good example where we showed all examples. I think if we do revisit this episode, I would love to talk about fictional characters.
Yeah.
Because that is another big thing with, like, TV show and books, but we're running low on time, so we won't get into that right now. But if you want a part 2, let us know.
Yeah, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Hi, welcome back to our Rosebuds and Thorns every week. I'm Bo.
I'm Caleb.
Caleb, what's your rose for this week?
This week, last weekend I finally sat down and I watched the new Superman movie and the Batman, both on HBO Max. And I thought they were both, like, really good and definitely gives me hope for superhero movies in the future after I feel like Marvel's kind of been lackluster for the past few films.
Yeah, I watched Superman in theaters. I also watched Batman in theaters when it came out, but I watched Superman in theaters this summer, and genuinely one of the best films I've watched this year.
Yes.
It very much a big, like, really hope core movie. It made me feel good and genuinely like I think I'm gonna be okay. Like, it was such a good movie. And my rose this week is that the new Glitch show on YouTube, Knights of Guinevere, came out. It's their first 2D animated show this year and first one that they've made so far. It's a princess sci-fi thriller that takes place in a planet-sized amusement park. The animation is gorgeous on it, and if anyone has the chance to watch it, I highly recommend it because it is just something that is... You need to watch it to believe it. It's so good, especially if you like the psychological thriller horror-esque. It's really good. What do you have for your bud this week?
For my bud, on September 30th, exactly 1 week of this recording, is a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics is releasing. This is a game that many fans have been asking for, and we've just never got it until, like, a few months ago where they announced it, and excited for that.
This is a Final Fantasy game?
Yes, like a spin-off.
Oh, okay.
Instead of, like, a turn-based RPG, it's more like a strategy RPG.
Oh, okay, that's really cool. I haven't played much of them, but I've heard really good things about the Final Fantasy series. Personally, I do not have a bud for this week.
But you do have a thorn.
But I do have a thorn. On September 18th, Jimmy Kimmel Live got canceled by its parent companies, ABC and Disney, for reasons that I like to call a joke towards the expense of President Donald Trump. But I thought, Comedy was legal again, but apparently not. And with that, it's been 3 business days since, and to all of our dismay, especially those who do not find him funny, he is back on air tonight. 3 whole business days after, and you know what? Today might be the rapture, actually. Thank God, because I really do hope either him or I do get raptured, because I really do not want to watch him live again, even though censorship is a problem. But...
Like, personally speaking, I'm not the biggest, like, Jimmy Kimmel fan, but, like, still, I thought the reason he got a show pulled off was just kind of stupid. And this comes from someone who has, like, the tiniest little bit of sympathy for recent events.
And even...
I do have tiny sympathy, but then I'm also the thing of, like, what Jimmy Kimmel said, I just don't think it was, like, that bad. I thought it was like, oh,
It's because it wasn't. He said, in reference to Donald Trump talking about statements on a recent death, and then went immediately into talking about the ballroom construction in the White House. Jimmy Kimmel said he's in the 4th stage of grief, which is construction. And that is not how you mourn the death of a close friend. That is how a 4-year-old mourns the death of a goldfish. So,
Yeah.
you know how it is. And you know what? Cancel me too, I guess. Cancel me too. But that's all today we have for our Roses and Thorns. Please follow us on our social media here at WCU Talks, and please follow our accounts on Instagram of ComWCU and WCUPA Life. Thank you so much.
Welcome back to the Would You Rather segment. Every week we have a question to leave you with that relates to this week's episode topic. This week the questions are, would you rather get to live in your favorite piece of media or forget your favorite pieces of media to rediscover them? I think I would like to live in my favorite pieces of media just because all the books that I like, going to these different fantasy worlds, or even just these different like colleges, because fictional colleges are a thing. And honestly, some of them are probably better than the one that we're at right now. And just kind of going to all these different places, live these different lives, these different jobs, these different careers. Just kind of getting to live in them. Because in my opinion, this is my question, my rules. You get to live in these places as long as you want. Kind of like how in The Good Place, if you've watched that show, they have like these green doors that take you anywhere you want to go. Kind of be like that. But make sure to leave your answers in the comments below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.